I never imagined that the two people I trusted the most would betray me in the most heart-wrenching way. My best friend and my husband. They both betrayed me. What happens when the ones you love the most shatter the foundation of your world? Let me tell you my story. My name is Emily Roberts. I'm 38 years old, living in Denver, Colorado. I'm a stay-at-home mom, a wife, and at one point, I thought I had the perfect life, until everything I thought I knew turned out to be a lie. We had been married for 12 years. I was 25 when I met Mark, my husband. He was everything I thought I wanted. Handsome, successful, kind. He made me feel like I was the center of his world. Then there's Rachel, my best friend. We'd been through everything together. I trusted her with my life. I thought our marriage was built on trust. Little did I know, Mark was hiding something beneath the surface, something I would never have expected. It was a typical suburban life. Mark worked long hours as a corporate executive, while I stayed home raising our 2 kids. We lived in a nice house, drove decent cars, and did everything we could to keep up appearances. But beneath all of that, there was a secret. Mark wasn't the man I thought he was. And Rachel, well, she wasn't the best friend I thought I knew either. Infidelity, emotional affair, marriage betrayal, these words weren't in my vocabulary until they became my reality. At first, it was little things. The extra hours at work, the strange looks between Mark and Rachel. I told myself I was overthinking it. I mean, we had been friends for years, and Mark would never hurt me like that, right? But then it started to feel like I was living in a house of mirrors. Every time I looked around, I saw something different. The more I ignored the signs of cheating, the clearer they became. Late-night messages, missed calls, Rachel's frequent visits to our house, they didn't seem innocent anymore. I'd find random photos on Mark's phone, photos of him and Rachel at events I wasn't invited to. Small things like this started to build up. It was like I was seeing through a fog, but couldn't quite make sense of what was in front of me. I tried to talk to him about it, but he always had an excuse. Work's just been stressful, or Rachel was just helping me with a project. But deep down, I knew something was off. Signs of cheating, emotional affair, micro-cheating examples, these weren't just signs anymore. They were the beginning of my nightmare. The day I found out, I was cleaning out Mark's old gym bag when I stumbled upon a hidden phone. It wasn't his usual phone. This one was small and sleek, tucked in a side pocket. I didn't know what to expect, but what I found was a conversation that would change everything. It was a conversation between Mark and Rachel. I didn't even need to read all the messages to know what had been going on. My heart sank as I read through text after text, each one more intimate than the last. I couldn't believe my eyes. They were planning things, planning their time together, talking about me as if I wasn't even there. I saw pictures, too, things that shouldn't have been sent. Messages of love, of longing, of a connection that wasn't meant to exist. My best friend, my husband. They had been sneaking around behind my back. I was a fool. A fool for thinking I could trust them both. It hit me like a ton of bricks. My world crumbled, and for the first time, I realized that nothing would ever be the same. How to catch a cheating spouse, hidden apps cheaters use, this was real, and it was happening right under my nose. The pain of betrayal didn't just affect me emotionally, it shredded my identity. I didn't know who I was anymore. I wasn't just a wife, I was a woman who had been cheated on by the one person who promised to love me forever. The emotional toll it took on me was unbearable. I couldn't even look at Mark the same way. And Rachel? I never imagined she could do this to me. The betrayal was so deep, I couldn't see a way out. But the hardest part was what came next. Mark didn't just break my heart, he shattered our family. There were arguments, tears, regrets, so many regrets. The stress began to take a toll on everything, our finances, my emotional state, and our home life. I thought about revenge. I wanted them to feel the pain I was feeling. But as I went through the motions of coping with this betrayal, I realized something. Revenge wouldn't fix this. It would only destroy me more. Surviving infidelity, financial stress after infidelity, isolation after infidelity, my life felt like a never-ending storm. I didn't know what the future held, but I knew one thing: I had to take control of my life. I couldn't keep living in the past. Healing after infidelity isn't easy, but it starts with you, not anyone else. Mark and Rachel? They're no longer a part of my life. I walked away from them both. I realized that I wasn't the problem. They were. I learned to trust myself again, and I started the long journey of rebuilding my life and my confidence. I'm not perfect, but I am healing. And I'm stronger now than I ever was before. If you're going through something like this, know that you are not alone. Infidelity stories don't have to define you. The journey may be long, but healing and forgiveness are possible. It's time to take back your life and trust yourself again. Co-parenting after betrayal, how to move on from infidelity, should I stay after infidelity? These questions led me to find my own peace. Thank you for listening to my story. If you've ever felt like you're drowning in the pain of betrayal, know this: there's always a way out. The healing journey may not be easy, but it's worth it. Trust yourself, reclaim your life, and remember that you are never alone. Stay strong.